we had a few minutes of silence, but what we need is more, always, in the world and in ourselves. And it's a way to allow the intelligence to have a chance to come forward, and compassion, so that we can begin to heal the world and heal ourselves. And it's always magical in those moments of silence, that we can all sit in silence and enjoy it and not have to fill it up. And the world is full of sound and full of all the things that, it's an unhealthy world at this point in many places. And what we want to do is to do our part to bring health back to it, because the world affects us and we affect the world. So we can put positive thoughts out. And what happens is that because we're trying to survive in this stressful world of enormous amounts of communication and ways of getting places quickly and living fast and watching mediocre entertainment and forgetting to do our practices, that we have this spiritual part. We need to, that deterioration of our spiritual and physical life needs to be brought back into balance. Or else it does cause illness or ill health or imbalance. And we can work with bringing ourselves back to balance, back to harmony, back to peace. And that's why we have the practices. That's why we need to take the opportunities to be with ourselves, to take the time to step aside and outside of that life. And we don't want to generate it here either. We want to know that the work we're doing is important. We know that the practices we're doing help that work to bring it into balance. Because we have so many expectations for ourselves and so many ambitions. And there's so much worry and anxiety and it makes a force. And what we want to do is make a force of peace and calm and compassion. So we begin to develop passion, and often if someone's in need, then that's an opportunity for us. If we see someone in a crisis of some kind, then we can step forward. And we often start with the people that are closest to us, our family or our loved ones, and then we can step in, because I know that feeling of like somebody in your family, something happens in your family. But then you get to the stage where person's unknown and they're in crisis and despair. You can step in. And then it comes to the place where you can step in to the downtrodden and the despairing that you don't know. And so each time you're giving yourself a wider and wider world to live in and to bring that calm and peace, but you have to develop it first yourself. And Swami Radha says that the Divine Light Invocation is a practice that contains what you need, sort of the proper ingredients for bringing that forward in yourself and for giving. And it is like forgiving and thanksgiving and re-giving. And because when you get something, there's that heartfelt desire to be able to help someone else. And there's no boundary, there's just a going forward to help And often we need pain, it seems, because we know a lot of things and we know what we want to be able to do and we want to be able to help. But if there's pain, if someone's in pain, it's immediate. If we're in pain, we have to change something. So pain is a good instigator of action. But we can grow to a place where maybe being balanced and calm and intelligent and compassionate would be a better way than harming ourselves or having to have a crisis. But it's our choice. And I think of when the water is still and calm, there's no disturbance, it calms down. Our minds are the same. No disturbance, in silence, in concentrating on something that's higher, a higher place in ourselves, we can become calm by the light, something subtle or something beautiful, or something that appeals to you. So in our practices, we have the different images. We have the light as the subtlest image. So we can bring these forward and into the day, into our work, into our interactions. So that we learn to enter a situation with calmness and compassion, knowing that what we know will come forward. What we need to give will be there if we can fill ourselves with light. So we can all learn to do that. And maybe the world will turn. Swami Radha says that that woman has to come forward and find out what her purpose is. And the woman in each of us, men and women, that part that comes and brings life back after there's been destruction. And there's been a lot of destruction in the world. And I see that more women are coming forward as leaders in different countries, and people who are taking care. So we can all start taking care of each other and ourselves first. And bringing ourselves back into balance, back into harmony, step by step. We can all do it. We have that